Fallout from the arrest of Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor continues. For the very latest, I'm joined by GB News host Alex Armstrong. Alex, welcome to the program. Great to see you again. What's the latest on this case? Andrew's been arrested, but then released and questioned after questioning. No charges at this point, though.
Yeah, James, great to be back as ever. No charges, but of course you must have seen in Australia that famous picture of Andrew in the back of that cab now. It's just been doing the rounds here in the UK. Day in, day out. It is really, really bad for him right now. It's the first time, of course, a brother of the King's been arrested since 1478. That's how bad it really is. Of course, we've now had more people come out of the woodworks. Former Prime Minister Gordon Brown, he was in power for a very short time back in the late 2000s. It wants the police to investigate Andrew's use, or at least alleged given access to Epstein and Maxwell, let's put it that way, to Royal Air Force bases. Now, of course, this is pretty damning if true. Now, the former Prime Minister says he's got emails, he's got evidence to give the police. Well, where have you been, Gordon? This has been going on for ages now. So at least he's finally decided to come forward and give some evidence to the police to help their case. But it does beg the question where all these people have been for a very, very long time. And of course, this is extending well beyond Andrew at this point as well, James, because the King is now getting embroiled in this too. He's on the front page of the Daily Mail with accusations that he too knew about Andrew's, what they're calling dodgy activities, all the way back in 2019. So this is just blowing up here every single day. I can't tell you how bad it really is, James, because it's just getting worse all the time.
Well, talking of Gordon Brown, you say, where's he been? Where's Sarah Ferguson been? According to media reports, she's been staying at a $24,000 a day wellness clinic since the most recent batch of Epstein files landed. Is that correct?
It is indeed. Well, we know from Swiss sources that she's been staying at this luxury resort in Switzerland because she was, quotes, absolutely crushed by the release of the emails. Well, that's what karma is. But, you know, when the rest of us have to go down to the pub to drown our sorrows when we've had a bad time, Sarah Ferguson can fly off to a luxury Swiss resort. People will be begging the question here, how is she affording all of this? Because she's not being funded by the taxpayer anymore. And I think it's just another bad look for a family who should be feeling some punishment for their role in this, are seemingly still living in luxury. Let's not forget, Andrew is being put up in I think it's a 7-bedroom house, and he's called it a shoebox. So I don't think the British public, and I'm sure the Australian public, will feel like they're really getting the punishment they deserve. But of course, if any convictions come after this, it will be the most incredible scandal to engulf the royal family since probably the Civil War here in Great Britain. So really not great, James. Really not good at all.
Of course, the British media are also reporting Andrew's daughters are set to hold crisis talks this weekend with the King. Aside from the obvious emotional impact on the princesses, I can't imagine what they would be going through, but what does Andrew, their father's arrest and potential conviction mean for them?
Well, look, we know that a future King William wants to slim down the monarchy, so they will be extremely worried that William is going to start removing family members from basically royal duties, which would, of course, remove all of their tax incentives and a lot of the money that they have, of course, from the British taxpayer as well. They'll be extremely worried that they're getting dragged into this case, which, you know, inevitably they are, because there are reports from the Epstein files that show the sisters, or at least one of the sisters, was still using his private jet when she was 19. Now, of course, she's still a young woman at that point in time, and it's difficult to say whether she has any responsibility for this, James. But again, the whole family from top to bottom, all of the Yorks are engulfed in this in some way. It's impossible for them to escape it. King Charles has been said to be fiercely protective of the sisters, but I don't think it's going to fly with the British public. I really don't. They want royal blood at the moment. I can feel it, James. I feel like we're getting back to revolutionary era Great Britain.
Well, I actually want to ask you about that. I mean, there was the shock of Andrew being arrested. A couple of days later, what's the mood now in the UK?
Well, look, in some ways, James, I think the constant attacks by the press are turning some people in the UK actually against what's going on here. They're saying he's not been convicted of anything, and we don't like a trial by media, despite what our press like to do. And I think a lot of people are saying, well, look, the British government now wants to remove Andrew from the line of succession, which is going to take a huge amount of legislation, including support from you guys in Australia too, and other Commonwealth countries. And there's a massive sleaze and scandal campaign happening inside the government. And people are wondering whether this is a massive distraction from the sleaze and scandals engulfing the Prime Minister, engulfing many cabinet ministers, and whether we should just be getting on with governing the country better. So there's a little bit of resistance building now in Britain.
And just very quickly, you mentioned, the King could be implicated in all of this, his handling of his brother. What about the late Queen Elizabeth, who is loved universally? Is there a chance that she is going to get dragged into this? I just got a few seconds for you to fill me in on that.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope not. But listen, everyone's being questioned right now, James. Every single royal that's going to go back. Now, we know monarchs are very well protected across the Commonwealth, so I highly doubt it. But I know, given that she's passed away, sadly, of course, years ago, I doubt that the press will want to drag her into it, and wouldn't be a good look for them.
Yeah.
But hey, who knows?
Indeed. Alex Armstrong, always great to talk with you. Thanks so much for coming on the programme.